the Second Amendment right to be able to carry arms, and how sensitive an issue that is for many American citizens. Yet the U.S. hasn't been able to deal with the situation in a satisfactory manner to be able to stop the sort of violence that we see playing out in schools, universities, and other places across the U.S. There is now a bill seemingly being tabled about dealing with the situation. On the part of the Justice Department has also brought out an initiative about dealing with gun violence, such as background checks and mental health issues being looked into as well. So all of that seemingly moving in the right direction, although with the NRA, the National Rifle Association, looming large, one always, as a U.S. politician, needs to be careful about how much they step forward in that process. Let's discuss all of this a bit further. We're joined now by Matt Snape, who is Executive Director for Parliament Street and a journalist for the Italian publication Inside Over. He's joining us now from Evesham in the UK. Matt, as always, thank you for joining us here. And what do you make of this latest shooting, Matt, there in California, as well as measures to be able to finally try to curb gun violence in the U.S.?
Obviously, any shooting in America is absolutely awful, and you know, my hearts go out to the victims and their families. I think the problem with U.S. gun reform is that it's going to be very difficult to achieve anything fundamental. I think the main problem is that obviously U.S. gun rights are enshrined by the Second Amendment in the U.S. Constitution, and any form of gun control can be seen as a way of stealing Americans' liberties. So I think the best way forward, personally, is for background checks to be carried out by the families of gun owners and police who believe that any individual is capable of going out there and carrying out a mass shooting. I think if the state tries to interfere too much, we're going to have an issue whereby a lot of Americans will feel like their liberty is being threatened.
So I wonder then, why do you think background checks haven't yet been initiated? I mean, gun violence is not a new thing, right, in the U.S. Why do you think it's taken this long? Is it down to essentially the likes of the NRA and the kind of power that they have in the country?
I think the NRA does definitely have a fundamental influence over the way gun control laws are carried out in the U.S. A lot of that is down to the weak lobbying laws in the US. In 2007, the US government passed better lobbying laws to prevent groups from having too much influence over legislation, but unfortunately, it's not been very effective. So I think there's definitely an issue with the NRA. I think the problem with background checks is that, or any form of gun control for that matter, is it's been an outstanding issue in American politics for a long time, and so many different issues have brought on the need, the case for gun control. But I personally believe the best way forward is for families and the police to be able to confiscate guns away from vulnerable individuals who are planning to go out and do a mass shooting. Because, as I just think if the state tries to bring in background checks, it will encroach upon people's liberties. And I think Ivanka Trump was the one who suggested that families and the police should be able to confiscate guns from vulnerable individuals. And I think that's probably the most sensible way forward.